Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I'm so grateful that you're here watching me. I love doing projects for you, and today I am bringing you a card with the Peaceful Deer bundle. Now, the Peaceful Deer bundle comes with this beautiful stamp set, and there's a matching punch. This punch punches out the two dancing deer that are in the bundle, but we're not going to be using the punch today for our projects. But it does work really well with two of the images that are in the stamp set. It also does the antlers so that you can do that. I have more YouTube videos using this stamp set where I did use the punch, so definitely check it out. But let's go ahead and get started. So I paired it today with the Tasteful Labels dies, and we're going to be using this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that one out. And we're going to start by die cutting that out. So we're going to use that one. I'm going to move this out of the way temporarily. And we don't need the stamp set box right now. So I'm going to push that out of the way as well. Let's go ahead and bring our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'll grab my white paper. And on this machine, it comes with all the plates that you need. So we're going to need panel number 1 and then number 2. Then we're going to put our paper with our die on it, and I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of washi tape to hold it in place. And then we will go ahead and run it through the machine here. And that's all the die cutting we're going to do today. We're going to fussy cut a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and get started with that so that it's one less thing we have to do. And that gives us this really pretty label. Isn't that, whoops, it did a slide. Isn't that pretty? So that's what we get. Let's go ahead and put that down. I'm gonna put my washi tape back on my machine. I like to keep it there because that way when I need it, it's always at my fingertips. Let me move the machine out of the way. All right. Let's put our die back before we lose it, because, you know, that happens. So I kind of like to clean as I go. I know some stampers are not that way, but that's how I do it. So now we have this little label here. We're going to go ahead and grab our real red ink pad. And we're also going to stamp our deer, and we're going to use soft suede. We're also going to be using some Stampin' Blends, which also are in the crumb cake, the light and the dark. You get both of them when you purchase them. In the package, you get a light and a dark Stampin' Blend. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to open the red and start with it. And we're going to stamp the words, "Wishing you a wonderful year" and "Friendships dear," and we're going to put it in this upper corner. So let's go ahead and ink that up. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see, and I stay in camera for you. I'm just putting that in this corner, just like that. Go let it dry. We're done with the red. We are going to stamp the inside of the card with Sahara Sand, so I'm going to pull that out, and let's go ahead and clean our stamp as we go. That way I can get rid of them and move them out of the way. All right. So now we're going to stamp our deer onto this piece, and we're going to stamp him in soft suede. And it's a standing deer. She's so pretty. So let's go ahead and stamp her down just like that. We're going to let her dry. I'm doing all the stamping, kind of getting it out of the way. Now on the inside of our card, we're going to stamp our trees and then the words "Merry Christmas." So I guess I do need that red back. I put it away too quickly. So let's go ahead and get our card. It's an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of Sahara Sand cardstock, and I've scored it down the middle at 4 1/4, so we can just go ahead and fold that in half. And so on the inside, just like in my card, we're going to stamp the large tree and then the smaller ones and then the Merry Christmas across. So let's move our deer out of the way. And we're going to grab the Sahara sand. And we're gonna grab our trees. So I have them on the one block. This one's on the bottom, and then when you flip it over, you can do the other side. So we're gonna start with the large tree first. So let me ink it in the Sahara sand. And then I'm just gonna press it down in this corner. Just like that, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and clean it so I don't get the ink on my hands. And then we're gonna go ahead and ink up this one, which is on the opposite side. And we're gonna put it right here next to it, kind of overlapping a little bit, just like that. We're gonna clean that, get it out of the way, and then let's go ahead and bring our red ink pad back in. And we're using the Real Red, which is what we used on that little label. We're gonna put Merry Christmas. Let's not stamp it upside down though, that would be not so great, right? I'm gonna bring it down where I can see. Hopefully you guys can still see. And we're gonna put the Merry Christmas. I'm gonna again overlap the trees slightly. And there's our Merry Christmas on the inside. I think that turned out rather well. So let's go ahead and move our card to the side. I'm gonna clean my stamp. Perfect. All right, guys, that's all the stamping. So let's do some fun assembly, right? So we're gonna color in our deer. So let's bring her back out. And I'm gonna start by putting some highlights on her, okay? So I'm going to grab the bullet tip and I'm gonna run some dark down this leg here. I'm gonna do this inner part of her leg. I'm also gonna do this part of her leg. And then this one down here, I'm gonna do right where it meets the other leg. I'm also gonna come up her throat and I'm gonna do underneath her face right here. And then I'm gonna do these top parts of her ear. So that's where I'm putting the dark soft suede. I'm gonna come in with the soft suede light. I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna be very careful to get her the skinniest parts first, get them kind of out of the way. And once I've done that, I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and I'm gonna rub over the top of that dark soft suede to blend it in. So I'm just gonna push my marker down into there and kind of pull that, blend it into the paper. So these blends bleed. So the backs of your piece will have the color through the paper, but that's okay. That's what they're supposed to do. That's how they blend, by the bleeding. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that color, that dark color there, around. And I'm gonna go ahead and color all over her again. And let's get to her little face here. I'm also gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pull that color in. There's her face. I'm gonna do the same thing with the ears. I'm gonna blend that dark spot and then pull. When she dries, she will have that same look as the card, where you can see the dark edges, but they're blended in really nicely. It gives you kind of an artistic look, which is so awesome. Blends make you look professional, right? So let's go ahead and cut her out. It's not going to take too long. She's fairly easy to cut out. Even though the punch only does the deers that are kind of, I call them dancing deer. I'll show you in a minute again which ones are cut out, and I'll show you the stamp set in the catalog. They're part of our mini catalog, so they're only available through the end of December. It's a beautiful bundle, and it's only $36 in the US. So I think it's well worth the money. You get the stamp set and the punch. And there's so much you can do with the punch by itself. That punch is called a Deer Builder punch. And it's really, really pretty. So we'll go ahead and come around and down and over like so. Come around the face, and then we're going to go in between her ears, and then we'll almost be finished. So around this ear, oops, I went a little wide there. Let's go a little closer. There we go. Got a little carried away. And we're gonna go down in between the ears, up over this ear, and then down again, around her back. Over halfway done. Only takes a minute or two. I don't mind fussy cutting. To me, it's very relaxing. Of course, you know, the more you do it, the better you get at it, just like anything. Practice makes perfect, right? So you just take your time and work your way around this cute little deer. I'm gonna get that one little part here that I missed on the hoof. There we go. All right, so there she is. All right, so for the front of our card, I've used the In Good Taste paper, which is beautiful wood grain. I just thought this is a perfect card for the wood. It's because the deers are in the wood, right? So the back is this really beautiful texture as well. I love this paper. I almost hate covering up what's on the back, but that wood grain is so beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and attach that, and we're gonna make sure that we have about 1/4 of an inch all the way around on all 4 sides. So there is our backing, and that wood grain is so pretty. So I have 2 pieces, and now this paper is from our celebration brochure. It's only good till the end of September, but you can get this paper for free with a $50 purchase. And it's called Peaceful Prints, and it matches the deer set. So here is the paper, really beautiful. And I've used 2 of the prints. I've used this plaid. On the other side, it has a snowflake plaid. And then I've used this kind of cross plaid. And on the other side, it has these little deer images. And I'm gonna make 2 banners. I'm gonna show you how I do that. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know what I did with my linen thread. I guess I'm gonna cut that as we go. So for my banner pieces, I'm just gonna cut in from the middle, and I'm just gonna go as far up as I want, and then I'm gonna come in from the corner and I'm gonna meet that cut, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come in from the corner and I'm gonna meet that cut. Let's make it a little bit higher to make it a little more even. There we go. So that is how I did that one. Let's do it one more time. So we're gonna come in from the bottom, and then you're gonna bring this one to meet it. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. You're gonna go from that point until it meets that piece. And then that forms your little banner pieces. All right. So let's go ahead and attach those onto our card. So we're gonna put this one like so, and I'm gonna bring this one down just a little ways. All right. So let's use our adhesive. Here, our seal. And go ahead and attach that. I'm going to leave a good 1/2 inch on this one side here, and I'm going to butt it up to the top of the In Good Taste paper. So that one comes down like that, leaving that nice crisp border. This one's going to come down a little bit of a ways like that. So I'm going to bring that down, and I'm going to try and kind of line that up with the middle of that, so that you just see a little peeking out right here. So let's do the same thing. Just run 2 lines, one on each side of our adhesive. I think I missed it down here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to kind of go to the middle. I want to leave that little peak there, and I want to just come down slightly. That looks pretty good. So there are the 2 banner pieces. Now, I want this little piece of ribbon to kind of go across, just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to trim it. I'm gonna grab I have 2 pairs of paper snips. I have one that I use for ribbon, and I know that it's for ribbon because it has this little dangling angel. So I'm gonna come on this side, and I'm gonna angle cut this ruffled piece. So there's that. Now, whoops. Now I want it to be ruffled on the other end, angled cut on the other end. So I'm gonna hold it in place, and I'm gonna bring my scissor with my little angel charm, And I'm going to angle cut the opposite direction, just like that. So then I can disappear these little pieces. And then to hold it in place, I'm just going to turn it over. And I'm just going to put some seal in a few spots, just like that. So it's just going to hold it in place, kind of tack it is really all that it's going to do right there. Okay. So now we're working our way up. So the next piece would be our little banner. Now I want that to be popped up. So I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals on the back. So I'm going to put one in each corner. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to pull the backs off. And I love this because it pulls all the backs onto the point of the Take Your Pick tool. They don't end up on my craft room floor. And then I can grab them and throw them in the trash. So let's flip this over. And we're going to use that little ribbon piece as our guide. We want it over and kind of centered there. Okay, so we're going to move this over so just a little piece of it is showing, like so. All right, so now we have two more things. We have our deer, and we have this really pretty linen thread. I'm going to grab that out of my basket here. I have quite a few things in my basket, so don't mind the noise as I find it. And this is how our linen thread comes. So I'm going to tie a double bow. So I have to find the end here. I don't think that's the one I'm looking for. Come on, guys. Where are you? Usually it does. I just used it, obviously, because I just made a card, but I don't know why that's caught up like it is. Okay. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Got it. Got a little tangled. Okay, I don't need quite that much, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to fold this in half. That looks about enough. And then I'm going to use my ribbon snips here. I'm going to snip the end. And I'm going to go ahead and snip this end as well. So I have two pieces. I'm going to do bunny ear ribbon tying. So you can grab two bunny ears and then I cross them, and then pull them through. Or you can start with your one bunny ear, wrap it around, wrap it around, and then bring it through that loop. I gotta grab it. My fingers don't want to grab. I'm gonna use my tweezers to help me because they don't want to, it doesn't want to come up. So I'm gonna grab with my tweezers and pull through. Hopefully it didn't, yeah, there we go. I grab both of them? No, I only grabbed one. I need two loops, people, two loops. I need both of them to go through. Let's start again. Sorry, guys. This always happens, of course, when you're trying to tie on camera because, I don't know, there's just something about being on camera that scares you or something. Let's start again. We're going to do the one loop. We're going to bring it around. We're going to bring it through that hole. You see it right there? Let's try and grab both of them this time and bring it through. There we go. So once they're through, I'm gonna pull and make sure that these guys don't go all the way through. So let's pull them again, little by little, little by little. Keep pulling on the ends until you're happy. I'm making this look like so hard, and it really isn't. Don't mind me today. I'm having a moment. I'm having a little moment. Okay, so there we go. Goodness gracious, it's not that hard to tie a bow. You can eliminate this step if I've scared you to death. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there is my bow. I'm gonna use my tweezers or my take your pick tool to make these two sides even. There we go. So once you're happy with your bow, I'm gonna trim this end because I have one longer than the other. I'm gonna use my ribbon scissors again. So there's the little strays, and I can fix it once I put it on my deer, but let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on my little deer here. So I want the feet to be off. So since I'm using the mini dimensionals, I think that they will fit one down here near where the opening is of the leg. You can put one on each in those spots right there. Okay, so that's what's going to be down and lifted here. So I'm going to add a second one. I'm going to pull the backs off, and I'm going to add a second one down there on top of those two. Okay, now you need two there because this piece is already raised and this piece is not, so it has to equal and become even. You need to put two. It's going to fall below that label, and therefore it's going to need that extra lift to make it equal. So I'm going to put 3 up here. Let's pull the backs off. 1, 2, 3. And let's throw these in the trash can. Okay, you'll see in a minute. So the two bottom legs have the double. So those are going to butt up against but not be on our label. And that gives it that lift that you need. So now we need a mini glue dot, which is what I'm going to use to put this cute little bow, which I need to actually pull a little smaller. I need the little loops to be small because the deer is a lot smaller than I was thinking when I was tying it. So let's go ahead and pull that, make it kind of little, see, little baby bow. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna open this glue dot, and you can see that one right there. I'm gonna use my take your pick tool and kind of roll it because the linen thread is not very thick, and I want to put that on the knot of the linen thread. So once I have it balled up, I'm going to use my take your pick tool to stick it to this back of the thread and pull it off of the take your pick tool. So now it's back here, stuck to my finger, but it's actually on that knot. Let's see if I can show it to you without going out of camera or getting blurry. So it's right there, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and bring that down and attach that onto the neck, and then I'm gonna trim these legs that are way too long now. And we're gonna trim this one over here. So there's that, and our finishing touch, our last final thing that we need to do is these cute little gold metallic pearls. So the metallic pearls come with gold and silver. I've separated them in the package. So the silver's here, and I put the gold in the back because I don't like them to be on top of each other because then they don't seem to work as well. So we're gonna grab the putty end of the take your pick tool. We're gonna pick up one. We're gonna put it up here on this red. And we're gonna put 2 down here. So let's grab this one. Come here, behave yourself. We're gonna put 1 there. And then we're gonna grab another one and put it slightly near it like that. Push that back in my package. Let's move our linen thread out of the way. And we're going to move our tweezers out of the way, and then I can hold the cards up so that you can see them a little better, right? That's important. Okay. All right, so here's our card. And then there's the, oops, what happened? My little pearl went flying. Come back here. Flip and get over here. Did I lose the backing on it? I don't know what I did. Let me put a dot of glue. I must have lost the sticky when I lifted it up. I'll just put a smidge, a tiny little dab of the glue. We can always fix anything, right? Or do our best to fix it. There we go. So now you can see, and then the inside of our card has our Merry Christmas with our trees, which also bring in the wood in the back. I hope that you've enjoyed my project. This one did go a little long, longer than I thought. I apologize for that, but I hope that you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so help me out by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And ask your friends to subscribe too. When you subscribe, you're going to get notifications of when I post new videos. Check out my blog, which is inkyhandswarmhearts.com. The description's also in the link is in the description below. And when you go there, you're going to be able to access PDFs and measurements and more fun projects. I hope that you enjoyed my video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Have a great day.